Yo. Oh, maybe put my fingers in front of it there. Hi guys, if anybody's there. 2 minutes earlier than I said I would be, which is unusual. Usually 2 minutes late. I'm just going to wait and see if I have in fact done it right. Yep. See, when I put the chat on the side of the screen there, I can see the chat moving up, but on my chat here that I would type into, there's nothing on it yet. So I can't read it because it's tiny. Oh, hi, Kathy. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Hello, Alice. Right, Arthur, come here. Well, I'm just trying to... I thought I was all smart on time there, and I haven't... Just got a couple of wee bits and bobs. Okay. Pin. I'm trying to pin it, and I forgot how to do it. Oh no, I have done it, in fact. Have I? Have I not? Hi, not perfect. I'm just trying to pin something here. Oh, have you been waiting, Kathy? I was waiting on the boys going to sleep. They were absolutely knackered. They were saying that they were tired. And then obviously once we went upstairs, they wanted a story. And then Charlie had picked a story. So even although their eyes were going together, Freddie wanted to pick a story too. So then he's like, I want to pick one. So he went and picked a book. So then I read another book. And yeah, so I think they nodded off about 9:30. So I came down the stairs and made sure this was charged. Well, I made sure it was charged earlier, but I double checked and tidied myself up a wee bit. And here I am. Pinned. I think I've done it this time. Is your friend back from, remember your friend that you went to for dinner a few weeks in a row there, Kathy? Was she not away on holiday? Is she back yet? Hi, Kay. Yeah, they're upstairs sleeping. They've got I've decorated one of my spare bedrooms for them, so it's a dinosaur bedroom. So instead of a blind, I've got the artificial leaves, and I've got like a lamp that's like a flame. So and I've got, I don't know how many dinosaurs, large ones, medium, small, dinosaur wallpaper, dinosaur everything. So they're up there. Hello, Kerry. I'm absolutely sweating now I've sat down. Oh, tomorrow. You'll be looking forward to catching up with her then, Kathy. Hello, Maria. Oh, see if I knew how to show you pictures that's already in my notepad and that, you would love the room. It's great. And I think it's great, and I'm an adult, so they're 2 and 4, so I'm sure they think it's great. The river that I had the dogs down at yesterday, I had the boys down there tonight to throw stones in the water. Such a simple thing, and they love it. Freddie's not been doing before. I took Charlie and the older one last year, like loads of times, and well, Freddie's just turned 2 last year, so he hasn't been before. So I took him today with his brother, and when we eventually got away from the river, Freddie was like, that was fun, Gran, that was fun. I had a good time. That was a good time. So he'll be wanting to go back. And there's the bridge that goes over the river. I took a carrier bag with me and let them fill it with stones. Too many stones. I nearly couldn't carry it up. So then we stood on the bridge for half an hour while they threw the stones in the water. But yeah, they're happy as Larry. Then I took them in to see my dad. Oh, and there was an orange walk. I don't know if you know what that is. A cultural walk. We could hear them a few streets away. No, Luna didn't pick a story. I left the dogs down the stairs or the boys would never have went to sleep. The boys' bedroom, in fact, is the only room in the house where the door's always kept shut. Or the dogs would just go in there and play and everything would be all over the place. And there would be dog hairs in it. She's sitting here beside me though. I'm sweating. I don't know if it's we've been out. Hi JP, and the sun was shining today. It was so nice. Like it wasn't roasting, but it was nice. Hello Elizabeth. How are you? Snatch. I remember his Snatch. I'm sure my oldest daughter had the pink Snatch set. And back in the day, it would have been the quilt cover and the pillowcases and the border around the walls in the bedroom, to my memory. Hi, Aspie. Yeah, we're fine. The dogs are sitting here beside me. My grandsons are having a sleepover, and I'm having a much earned vodka. And I promise you, I'm not unable to be in charge. It's only the one, but I will be having another one, and it'll be the two. Hi, Maria. Oh, I've already said that. Well, hi again. Yeah, so there was an orange band out today, so I drove around the streets trying to find a place that I could pull in. So the police were out on their bicycles in front. Then, as usually, you've got the police in their cars. Then you've got the wee guys in the front twirling their batons and stuff, and then obviously you've got the drummers and the flutists, and yeah, the boys loved it. What was it Charlie called it? The musical drummers. When will the musical drummers be back? That's what he said. Elizabeth, I'm in Falkirk. Central. Are you in West Lothian? Or do you know somebody there? Yeah, I know, not perfect. I would have made somebody a fabulous wife. Well, I did, in fact. But I was underappreciated, so I'll rephrase that. I would make somebody else a fabulous wife. And the local football ground, which is like a junior football level, they had a match on as well, but that was just, it was only 15 minutes to go when the boys arrived, or I was going to take them there. But once I mentioned river, everything else went out the window. Alice, are Pine Martins black? If they are, I'm sure I've seen one before. The dogs have basically that was 2 days in a row. They've had quite big walks. So they basically slept all day. I'm sure it's to be nice again tomorrow. So once the boys go back, I will. I'll go and I'll take them out for another good walk. What's Kay hanging in there for? Who's painted walls black? Maria, Alice was asking if I'd seen a pine marten, and I was asking her if they were black. That's the only thing that I can think of. Oh, Whitburn's just, well, it's not just up the road, but it's no far at all. I've got a cousin who's married to somebody whose family's from Whitburn. Yeah, I think so, not perfect. Going by the forecast, which doesn't always go for anything. Why is Kay to hang in there? What's happening with Kay? Hello, Jess. Yeah, that's all right, Maria. I get confused on the daily. No, that's not so good, Kay. I suppose if you want to take the positives, you can take some solace in the fact it's mild and it gives you the chance to do everything you can to stop it for advancing any. I had my dad at the doctor's last week, thinking he was needing antibiotics, and it's basically just like he said COPD. Like he's 86, he's been smoking all the years, his chest is clear, and that's what they've put it down to now. Or you're a smoker, Kate. There's a girl a few streets away from me. She's married to somebody I used to go to school with, and she has COPD and emphysema. And I just think anybody under 50, that's so young to have something like that. Oh, I have to stop it. Yes, I am not perfect. And I'll take that crown and I'll wear it with pride. In fact, maybe I should get in touch with the Guinness Book of Records, because if nobody else has successfully achieved that, then I deserve a spot in there. I'm having a hot flush. I'm absolutely sweating. I feel like my throat's going a bit as well. When I woke up this morning, my throat was like, just felt bad, like rough and sore. And then after about an hour, it was okay, but now it feels like it's starting to go back that way again. Yeah, my dad's quite skinny, actually, but that's just in general. It's no. Oh, I feel like my throat's going. But he's old, so he's shrinking. He's about the same height as me now, and he used to be 6 foot. Yeah, and I'm not sure what the effects. Like a lot of people think they're doing good if they get off the cigarettes and they get onto the vapes, but if you've already got emphysema or COPD, I'm not actually sure what that would do to it, or if it would be a better option or not. Oh, I've had the camera doing it about 3 times, Kay. The only thing I can say is it's not pleasant, but it's over very fast. Oh, what was that? What you got after? Yeah, he's all right, Kerry. He told the doctor they're just need to put him down, but that's just how he talks. The doctor's, aye, he's all right. Ooh, Betty, Betty. A calypso. Do you know? I think I've actually got some. Uh, I've definitely got some ice lollies in the freezer, and I think I do have the same style of lollies as calypsos, but I don't think they're called calypsos. Oh, for the hot flushes, I thought you were talking about for my throat. Oh no, I would eat the whole thing in about 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, Kay. I hope he feels the same. He's deaf as a post. I took the boys into him earlier, and I've said to him so many times, why would you know, at the very least, just wear your hearing aid, even when you know the boys are coming, because that's his great grandsons, and he can't hear what they're saying. And they give him his full name. They didn't just say Papa. They will be like, it's Papa Johnny this and Papa Johnny that. Papa Johnny, we were at the river. Papa Johnny, can you hear me? And I can, hi Alex. And I can see him looking at them and just smiling. And I'm thinking, he can't hear a word they're saying. So after them telling him about being down the river, my dad asked me, did you just walk round for the house? I was like, no, we just drove back from the river. So at that point, I knew he hadn't heard anything that the boys had said. What are you going to look up, Maria? What did I miss? What did I miss? No, she did not. Not perfect. Finland? Why does Finland ring a bell? Oh, it was that impromptu live this morning. Was there no talk of somebody from Finland on there? That's probably why Finland's in my head. She has the. I'm missing chat because I feel like every time I read a comment, I'm having to look back because I don't know what it's in reference to. Well, Jess, I actually, and my oldest daughter's the same. We have quite bad health anxiety, and it's ridiculous the states we get ourselves into about some things. But that said, if there's ever anything wrong, and hopefully there isn't, the sooner they find it, the better you'll be for a full recovery. Hi, Purple. How are you? Or Dawn. I'll not get used to calling you Dawn. Hello, Real Lex. Are you coming up to chat? I want to pick your brains. I thought I had pinned that, but I'll put it back there in case you. I've had the camera doing 3 times, Jess, and I've also had a barium meal, which isn't pleasant either, but also not sore. Well, the medication I'm on for my fibromyalgia is one that can be, it's one of the go-tos for fibro, but it is also an anti-anxiety. So yeah, so maybe that's why I'm a bit lackadaisical about it, saying this and that, because normally I would be starting to panic at other people talking about what's wrong with them. Yeah, I don't know where she went. Where did you go, Lex? No, he hasn't, Lex. He's an old bugger. And he's set in his ways. He doesn't wear his hearing aid, he doesn't wear his glasses, and he doesn't use any of his walking aids that he's got. He's got walking sticks, he's got a Zimmer frame, and he's got a few other bits and bobs. So he's stumbling. Yeah, pre-gabbling, yeah, but the one Maria, I think it depends on your doctor, to be fair. I think a lot of your younger doctors are a lot more knowledge about fibromyalgia. Whereas if you maybe find somebody that's a generation older than you getting diagnosed, they'll say that they've had the symptoms for 10 years plus. Hi, Lex.
Hi, Odette. What's happening, hon?
Nothing, I'm just sitting having a chat. The boys are sleeping upstairs. And when I say the boys, I mean my grandsons. Nothing untoward.
You have them for the weekend?
No, just till the morning. Their mum will probably come and get them early.
Okay. So what's
Um,
going on with your dad? He's not wearing his hearing aid?
no, he never does. He's just stubborn old goat. Doesn't like them.
Yeah.
Um, and his hearing is his TV's up at 100. Actually, when I was in his house earlier with the boys, I woke up and my throat was a bit iffy this morning, and I think just the short conversation I had trying to tell the boys trying to tell him everything the boys was saying to him, I think it's niggled it again. It's like it's ready to go, but could be saved, but that's not
Yeah.
helped.
Yeah.
So how's the
So
work
he
life?
doesn't
What's
he
happening?
does he doesn't listen to you, is that it?
But even when he could hear, he didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know all about it. I know the same thing, at the end of my dad's life. Same thing. Same thing.
yeah. I mean, he'll be 87 this year,
Yeah. Wow.
and
Okay.
he had 9
Does-
brothers and sisters, and they're all long gone. They're actually a family that has got very poor health. They've all died quite young with heart and cancer issues. And I don't think any of them's seen past 70, and he's 86. So,
Wow.
yeah, so I don't know if he's just lucky or if it's
Does
just
he
a
live
chance.
by himself? Does he live by himself?
Yes, but he's just round the corner from me.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yes, aye. So he
So
lived round
what did
the
you want to pick my brain about? What did you want to pick my brain about?
corner. Nothing serious, just absolute pure nosiness. What's happening with Chicky?
Well, he texted me a cute little thing a couple of days ago. I have talked to him. I've talked to him.
Oh, that's nice.
And, he's helping his daughter with a deck project, one of the daughters at her place.
With a hot
So,
project, Tony?
pardon me?
With a hot project?
A deck, the deck outside their deck.
Right, the deck and
Yeah, the deck, the whole thing has to be completely redone. So I know he's involved with that, and, we're not teenagers. So this is not, like, you got to text and talk every 5 minutes, which is fine by me because, I mean, I'm an independent person, you know what I mean? And I don't I never thought like something like this was gonna happen, and I didn't really care because I really like my life, and you know, I do what I do when the hell I want to do it. So I like my life. It's good. You know, I have my doggy, and we're a little team, and yeah.
Yeah, that's when it happens, though, when you're not looking for it. And Lex, I'm actually glad I asked because I'm just looking at chat there, and Kerry's asking Lex, how's Chicky? Maria's asking Lex, how's the romance with Chicky? And somebody else asked, but I can't find where it is right now. So everybody wants to know.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't think Chicky knows about your channel. He doesn't know about Candor, and he doesn't know about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you can see.
So whenever, usually when Michelle does a live, and she keeps pulling me in on her lives, which, you know, I'm trying to help her. But and again, I never imagined I'd get reeled into something like this either, where I'm, you know, talking on people's YouTube channels. I mean, I like you. I like your channel because you're low key. You're out in nature with the doggies, and you're showing us Scotland and where you live, which is very beautiful. I mean, because I'm very into nature myself, so
Yeah,
you know, Chicky doesn't know. But he doesn't. Well, actually, you were on a panel there, and one day on Michelle's, and so Chicky did get to meet you. It sounded like he didn't even know where Scotland is.
actually, I remember that because somebody mentioned dogs, and he was on the panel, and I had put the camera to my dogs, and I said, Chicky, I says, can you hear me? And he says, yeah. I says, can you see my picture that's came up? And he says, I don't want to look at it out of respect for Lex. And I was like, I says, no, I says, I'm not asking you to look at me. I says, I'm wanting to show you my dogs. So he
Yeah,
was trying to be all respectful. Look at my cheeks. That's just me a wee bit in the sun today.
you look very pretty today. You look good in that color. I like
Well,
that
thank you.
color on
Do you know
you.
this was just doing X, this jumper, and I think it was only about £24 or something. And it's one of these jumpers
Really,
that seems to grow with you. It doesn't matter, it always seems to look all right.
that's a great color on you. You should
Thank
wear
you.
more red. I like it.
Burgundy. Yeah, it's quite red.
Yeah, I don't know if Chicky knows. It sounded like he didn't even know where the hell Scotland is. I don't even know if he knows it's another country. I don't know if I don't know if Chicky's ever traveled overseas. I mean, we were talking and I said, well, look, you know, I definitely would like to, you know, he started talking about traveling and I said, well, I definitely want to go back to Italy. And I mean, he is, you know, 100% Italian. I don't think he's ever been to Italy. Frankly, with his background, I don't know if he can get a passport. I mean, I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
um, I'm not sure.
you never know. You never know, maybe. Yeah, Italy's definitely one to go to if it's something you want to do.
I mean, he did tell me we were over at Angel Gotti's show. And you know, he keeps talking about when he's going to come to visit me. Although it's kind of funny because I don't know if I've really invited him. But somehow we got onto firearms, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm fully locked and loaded out here. This is Second Amendment out here in Arizona." And he said, "Oh God, you have to move those out of the house when I'm there. I can't be in a house that has guns. It's part of his, I guess,
Or
arrangement
is he
with
is he under some sort of
with the authorities." And I
yeah?
said, "Oh, that's okay. We'll take him, and I'll take him over to my neighbors." I said, "Because he cleans my guns for me." So, you know, I was just teasing him. I said, "Should I get out a list?" I said, "Wow, you're high maintenance. No, I can't have my guns in my house." I'm like, "What else?" You know, it's kind of
You'll
funny.
need to get yourself a tight garter and just keep a wee handgun because at the end of the day, he is a stranger. Stranger danger.
Well, I mean, I said to him, I thought we were going to go over to LA. I said, when my son goes back on set on his TV show, they renewed his show. I said, we could go over there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know. I just, listen, you meet a man on the net. I know, I've looked at his channel. I mean, this is the kind of a guy, never in a million years would I be hooking up with a guy with his background, like his background. You know what I mean?
I think if you were to speak to anybody above 30 who hasn't actually dabbled with the internet, they would never understand meeting somebody on the internet. But anybody under 30 or anybody like us that sort of knows our way around a bit, you know more about somebody before you meet them than what you would if you met somebody in a pub.
Pardon me?
I'm saying you know more about them than if you went out to a club or a day out or a restaurant and you met a stranger. You wouldn't know anything about them at all.
Well, that's true, but I don't go to clubs. I don't go out to eat by myself. I mean,
Well,
all
I
this
don't
stuff,
either.
like,
I just
you
couldn't
know
think
what I
of a
mean?
better description.
You know, I listen, I
Hi,
mean,
Gail.
the guy was with the mafia, okay? I mean, I've never been arrested in my life. I'm like on the other side of the universe. I was in the law business, but I think he's a very nice guy and he's very sincere. I think he's like a reformed person. Um Now wait a minute. Somebody's asking a question. Is this Maria? Wait a minute.
She says, now, Lex, I had heard that there was a chance Chicky is married. Eh? Where did you hear that,
No,
Maria?
yeah, Maria, what's your source on that? Chicky got a divorce from his wife that he had the children with, the girls, and then he raised the girls himself. He had primary custody. And then he did hook up with a woman who was his girlfriend for a while.
Uh-huh.
And she played like a little game, like being real nicety nice, but she was very cruel to his children and he caught her and he got rid of her. I'm
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure Chicky's had a lot of women. I mean, you know what I mean? He comes from that world. I mean, those Italian guys in the mafia, they don't
Yeah.
exactly have a great reputation. And when he came over to Michelle's, I said, you need to understand that the women over here, that we are not a bunch of uneducated bimbos. Okay, there's no bimbos on our team, and he knows
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Listen, I'm older than this guy. I have yet to tell him this. He
What
mentioned
age is he?
something. Pardon me?
What age is he?
He is 58. Okay.
58. And how many years do you
And
have on him?
well, I'm going to be
Hi,
70. I'm going to be 70 years old next month. I mean, I'm a very,
hi, Pamela.
uh, I have an attitude, I guess, of a younger person, but notwithstanding that, I mean, I am not, I think he said something like, people that are our age. And I thought, oh my God, this guy doesn't realize, I have a younger sister his age. I'm the oldest in my family, and he's the baby in his family.
Yeah,
But
well,
he's very,
I've had
go ahead.
a relationship with somebody who was 11 years older than me, and I was with him for a few years. And I also had a relationship where I was with somebody who was 10 years younger than me, and I was with him for a few years. So age is just a number. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I listen. Do I think this is actually going to go anywhere? I don't know about that. You know what I mean? It's um, would I invite a guy to come stay at my house? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, if you're
Um,
in the middle of nowhere, like if you've not got any neighbours like that you can see from your window type of thing, then you probably shouldn't have a stranger there. Um,
well, we're on some acreage here. We the each
yeah,
piece of property, some acreage, but I definitely do have very, very good neighbors right next to me. So, and they do very nice, they do nice things for me. She has a real nice husband, and they moved in a few years ago, and they've been awesome neighbors, very good people.
Yeah.
So, but you know,
You could meet
I
up
don't
out
know.
and go and take in a show or have food or whatever it is that you both have in common that you like to do, and just stay in a hotel
Well,
at
there
whatever
actually
is
is
comfortable.
there's a pretty nice hotel up here that he could stay in. I said to him the other day on Angel's show, I said, listen, I'm not a loose woman. I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So even the thought of going in that direction is really not something I'm prepared to do at this point in my life, you know?
yeah. It's sometimes it just seems like a hassle, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. So,
Kerry's asking what your kids would think.
uh, well, they might like him because he's a really good storyteller. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, I'm trying to think of what my son would think because I'm very upfront with my kids, so there's no secret. So, I actually I'm not sure what they would think. I mean, the guy was in the mafia. You know what I mean? And
yeah. It's quite a big thing.
there were people where we were growing up. Like when I was growing up, two of my friends, their dad was in the mob out there, and um, so I kind of became aware of that later. I mean, I didn't really, understand. They weren't hitmen or anything like that. They were just, associated with them. I don't believe either of these guys murdered anybody. I don't think Chicky has either. I mean, he was a
No,
bookmaker.
hopefully
He was
not.
he was he was taking bets, and what he used to do with them is now legal here in the United States.
Right.
So he makes that point, and I don't know. I mean, I like my life. I don't like any pressure. I was in a real high stress job for many, many years. And, I just, I kind of, I kind of like the way it is. I mean, Odette, you're single too. You know what I mean, right? You got your
Oh
dogs and,
God, I've been divorced for 25 years, and in that 25 years, I've had one, two, three relationships. One was for about 2 years, one was for about 3 years, and one was a bit iffy on and off for about 3 years. Um, and after the last one, which was 5 years ago, my daughters were like, "Right, mum, that's it. If you're having another man in your life, we have to choose him because your taste is rubbish."
yeah. Well,
Yeah, so
I've had a couple, I don't know, about three, I guess three different relationships as well. Oh, because I got divorced in 1993. And, I mean, it's not like I need a man for finances. You know what I mean? I definitely do not. So,
I
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I'm
Pardon
the
me?
same. Everybody's standard of living is different, and well, being single as long as I have, obviously everything I've got is what I've acquired for myself and no being assisted by a partner or whatever. And
Yeah.
I've probably got a lot less than some people and more than others, but
Right, right, right,
I'm happy with what I've got and what I've accumulated. Um,
right.
but
I have a
yeah,
nice house, but I'm not living in a mansion. I mean, Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't listen. I've had a very, very enriched life, and so there's certain things that I do like, but I don't, I'm not like buying antiques from, Versailles or anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't need it. I mean, I just, my parents' house was a mansion. I mean, this stuff isn't important to me. And as far as being single and by myself, I have my three grown children and my six grandchildren. And
Yeah.
they are very independent, and so am I. So it works. You know what I mean? I'm not bugging them all the time or blah, 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 telling them what to do or how to raise the kids or, I don't do that. I'm not like this helicopter grandma, that's not my
No,
style.
I'm quite lucky. I don't feel like I have to be that person because if there's ever any issues, like both my girls and my son actually will pick my brains first. Oh, mum, this is happening. What do you think? And I'll say what I think. And a lot of the time they'll be like, oh, actually, you're right. And some other times they'll be like, oh, well, I'm not sure about that, but they still will come to me.
That's
So,
good.
yeah.
Are they all there in the same town as you, or are you all close to each other physically?
Yeah, in three different directions. They're all 10 minutes from me.
Oh, nice, nice,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah,
That's good.
yeah, it is good.
So as far as Chicky, it's nice to make friends. It's like,
Of course
like,
it is.
pardon me?
I said, of course it is. And it's nice to have just somebody that's interested in you. Even if you don't pursue it's still a nice feeling.
Yeah, right. It's like you. I mean, I started watching you and I became endeared to you immediately. I'm like, I really like this lady. I really, really like her. And you're very salt of the earth. Plus, you're from Scotland, so I dig that. It's nice. I love your accent, and I love the fact that you don't say little, you say we.
Yeah, yeah. We,
I love that. I love that.
yeah. You know, I was lying up there. So in the boys' room, I've got a double bed, and my two youngest grandsons are brothers, and my oldest grandson's my other daughters. So the two oldest used to come and stay, who would have been cousins, and they just slept in it like a normal. But when the two youngest stay, I'll move the pillows long ways just so he doesn't fall out. So they were lying, Freddie's two, and he was nearest the headboard, and then Charlie, and then me. And so I done the stories, and they've got this wee flame flickery light thing on, and I'm thinking, go to sleep, go to sleep. I said, I'm going to get a text for your mum just now. I said, and she's going to ask me if you're sleeping because she's quite rigid with her routine. In their own house, it's nearer 7, 8 at a push. And I looked at my phone and it was 10 past 8. And she texted me, are the boys sleeping yet? And I was like, nearly. And then I was like, that was your mummy checking. I says, don't have grand telling fibs. I said, so she's going to text me in 5 minutes to see if you're still sleeping. And they're like, right, Gran, right, Gran. And then I just heard Freddie, who is the youngest. I mean, he's only two. And he just says, I love you, Charlie. And,
Oh,
and Charlie sat up and leaned over and hugged him and gave him a kiss. And he's like, I love you too, Freddie. And then the two of them went to sleep. And that was it.
oh, so cute. So are
Yeah,
they taking a little nap now, or no? It's nighttime there, isn't it?
yeah. So that was them sleeping for 8:15. So that'll be them till about 6 in the morning. I'm hoping for 7, but
Okay.
it'll be about 6. Yeah.
So is your daughter and your son-in-law doing something fun for the weekend, and that's why you have the kids?
They're away into Edinburgh and they told me where they were going, but I forgot. But they're just going out for food. They were just driving. We were going for food and coming back and having a chilled night. Yeah,
Nice. Nice. That's good. That's
yeah.
good. Yeah.
And they'll probably come and get the boys quite early. But when the weather's good, they just love playing out the back. I make games.
Oh yeah.
I buy some games, but I make games. I make games out of things in the garden, and they absolutely love it. They'll come and I'll get old tubs, and I've got like an S-shaped lounger, and I'll put them maybe at the bottom of the lounger on the end of, like, there's a bench there and stuff. And I'll just make games where they've got to take their cars round about the garden to see who can land them in the tubs,
Oh,
or like just
fun.
silly stuff, but they love it.
Yeah. The kids love the simple things.
Aye, really.
Listen, my son, he had a second child,
Aye.
and he has a beautiful garden. Okay, like the landscaping in his house is so incredible. I love it because I'm into flowers and bushes and all that. But his whole backyard, it is like a gigantic, like, toyland with all. I mean, it is unreal what has happened in my son's backyard. I mean, they have every possible, a jungle gym, this, that. I mean, it is, you know, um, those kids have totally taken over, and they are really spared nothing. I mean, it's unreal. It is unreal. It's nice,
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure if my
they have
garden's
lots.
big enough for all that, but it's a decent size, eh?
Well, he's got the way it's set up is it's like in the shape of like a. I guess it's really like in a square shape, but at the back end of it is sort of hilly, and on that hill there's a wall, okay? And then above the wall on the hill are all these incredible bushes like bougainvillea, everything cultivated, and it was all done by the former owner, and really, really beautiful landscaping. It is very lovely. It's nice, but I'm telling you, and then they got a puppy, so
Oh,
it is a kitty wonderland, you know what I mean?
yeah, sounds nice. And it is, if you've got like
Yeah,
a decent sized garden. I mean, you can get a landscape gardener in for a small garden as well, but if you've got some proper space, then it's good for the kids.
yeah, it is. It's nice. It's got a grassy area, then it's got like a concrete pad where he's got real nice wicker garden furniture, and then there's a outside like bar kitchen thing with a barbecue and a sink. It's very deluxe. It's nice, so they lucked out getting that house. They scooped it up, and yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm going to put in, and I probably shouldn't share this. And I can't even blame the drink because I've only had one. But when you said scoop it up, so in my back garden, when I open my back door, I've got a small slabbed area. Well, I would say like a small patio area. I, I think it's about 70 or 80 slabs, and it goes in a half circle. And they're a creamy colour. And after the winter, I always put a water can of quite strong bleachy water over them and give them a scrub to get all the winter kind of mildew off them and stuff. And I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this. So I got up and I done my washing and I done a wee bit of housework, and I still had my nightgown on, and I was going to have a shower, and I thought, I'm going to scrub these slabs before I have my shower because I'm just going to get all sweaty. So I was in the garden at my back door. Nobody could see me because it was quite tight to the house. And I just had my old dog walking trainers on with my nightie. So I put all the bleachy water over all the slabs, and I'm scrubbing away. But because it's nice and everybody works all week, like everybody's out in their gardens on a Saturday morning if the sun's shining. So you can hear people with strimmers and lawnmowers and people banging if they're building or fixing their fence or whatever. And I just, I shouldn't even be saying this. And I just kept hearing this noise. So I'm sweep, 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 and I'm scrubbing. It was like a big long handled deck scrubber. But every time I stopped to try and listen to what it was, I couldn't hear the noise. And every time I started scrubbing, I kept hearing the noise again. And it was because I was in my nightie and I was braless. And it was that I was hearing. And I was like, I was laughing and I was standing, like my face is going red because I'm telling you. And I was laughing and I was standing there and there's not another soul there bar me and the dogs. And I'm thinking, oh my God, Adette, it was your boobs hitting like your body. You were sweeping. So yeah, that was my needless overshare.
But you got it all cleaned up and now it's
Yes,
nice.
it is, and it was dry just in time before the boys came. Because I know they like to sit about there. And I've got quite a lot of toys and the shed. So I've got a decent sized shed and then like a bike shelter thing at the side of it. And in the shed it's actually really tidy because I've got power in there and it's I carpeted it because I've got like an extra tumble dryer and just a small freezer for the dog's tripe and that. And the boys love sitting in there, see if it's a nice day, and they'll say your lunch is ready if they're here. Can we eat it in the shed? They'll say. And I'll be like,
Oh, they like it.
they like
It's like
it.
a little fort.
Yeah, they like it and they shut the door when they're in there. And I kid on them.
Yeah, it's like a little fort. Their little clubhouse, right?
Yeah. I pretend that I've been
Yeah.
back in the house and they're all alone, but the whole time I'm standing outside it because I'm scared they hurt themselves.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say something there and I forgot what it was now. Something about the shed, but never mind. No, I forgot. It'll come back to me in about 3 days when it's useless.
Okay. Well, over here where I live, you can't plant any like flowering bushes like lilacs or anything because the elk eat everything.
Oh, really?
So, oh yeah, I mean, on this property there are some irises, um, and that's it. They will go after everything. So nobody has any, you know, hydrangeas or just, flowering bushes of any type because the elk eat everything. I mean, they're vegetarians. They eat the berries off the spruce trees. I mean, you can't plant any flowering anything. I have a big front porch, so I can put stuff in containers on the porch. But as far as the property, it's impossible to cultivate anything because of the elk here.
I would love to just watch them though. Even if they didn't eat anything
Oh,
I tried to grow, I would love watching them more.
oh, I do. I do. That's what I do. I sit on my front porch. I give them apples and carrots, although you're not supposed to. Okay, but I do anyway.
Yeah.
Um, and my neighbor does too. There's definitely a herd of them, and it's fun to see. It's mostly females. There's a few males, right? But the number is disproportionate. There are more females than males, and it's real fun when they come down here with their brand new babies and stuff. So they come down to this property up the mountains up above me. I mean, this is all mountains, but I don't know where they live. I think somebody's got water tanks below us here because they seem to kind of migrate and somebody must have water tanks for them so they can get water. Because they'll stop by, and sometimes they just lay down and they just hang out. They just they just hang out, and it's very cool. I mean, I've never been charged by them. Gretel did get charged by one time, but if I'm stepping over to my car or whatever, I just talk to them. They've never been aggressive with me, and
They maybe know your voice
so
now.
yeah, I'm just real low key, and I'm aware of them in case one of them would start to come at me. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't get too close to them, but they're on the property.
Yeah.
So. And it's interesting to observe them, how they interact with each other, and you can tell who the alpha female is with them, and
I
it's
would be in
interesting to watch
I
them.
would be in my element. Do you see moose up there?
We do not have moose here. What we have here are elk, we have deer,
Them
we have coyotes,
moose,
mountain lions, bears, squirrels, bunnies, we have a lot of birds.
moose are
There's no moose
absolutely
here.
massive.
I don't know if there are moose in the United States. I thought moose were indigenous to Canada, but I could be wrong. I mean, I know there's a lot of elk up in Colorado, north of me in the Rocky Mountains,
Yeah.
but I don't know if there's moose in
I
the
mean,
United States. I know.
I'm not as knowledgeable as you on that. It was just when I heard you talking about elk, I thought I would ask. So if if you don't think there's any, there probably isn't.
Well, if anybody's in the chat from Canada, I thought moose, that was their habitat, was Canada. But there's no
Wait,
herds that come down here.
I'll have a Google. Moose, where are moose found? That just came up. Moose live in cold northern climates across the northern hemisphere. All right, you need to be a wee bit more specific there. They inhabit boreal forests and mixed deciduous woodlands in North America, Europe, and Asia. Major populations are found in Canada, Alaska, the Rockies, Scandinavia, and Russia. Yeah,
Yeah, they might be in some of the real northern states over by north of me by the Canadian border. But no, there are no moose here.
yeah.
It's the
I've
elk.
watched some
And
videos.
those elk, pardon me?
I've watched some like videos of people filming them, and they are massive.
Well, now that I think about it, actually there may be moose in Yellowstone National
Yeah,
Park.
there is. That was
So,
the next thing it said, but I stopped reading. So you're correct there.
yeah. Yeah, north, and that is north of me. I've never been up to Yellowstone, but um, people drive through there. I've seen, they want to get out of the car. Oh God, you can't do that. I mean, they're wild animals.
Yeah,
Um, so,
it's just
um,
unbelievably large, like a size that I would never have imagined them to be. They're huge. Kathy says there are moose in North Canada. Oh, Jess says Yellowstone is beautiful. Hi, Anne McAvoy. So, Jess, have you been to Yellowstone? Well, you must have been to Yellowstone. Do you live in America or were you on holiday? I've never been to America.
Kathy, Kathy says there's moose in North Carolina. I think NC, she's talking about North Carolina. I don't know.
I don't know.
Could
What
be.
did I say? North Canada. Geography is
Or
not my
maybe
strong
she means North Canada.
point. Geography is not my
Yeah, it could
strong
be North
point.
Canada. I don't know.
Hi, awesome.
North Carolina.
Yes, you did say
North
North
Carolina.
Carolina. You're right, like.
Wow, that's interesting. I'm surprised they're so far south. Wow.
Yes, thanks.
Interesting.
See, I wouldn't even, like, you could put up a blank map, North and South America, and I would not have a clue where to put a pin in that for Carolina. Like, my geography is terrible, embarrassingly so.
Well, North Carolina, if you look at a map of the United States, is situated more towards the east of the United States,
Mhm.
but it's southeast. Okay, it's southeast.
Right,
North Carolina, and then below that, to the south of it, is South Carolina.
right. Jess is in Wisconsin. She said she was at Yellowstone on vacation, but she lives in Wisconsin.
Well, when I lived in suburban Chicago, we used to go fishing up in Wisconsin. There's a place called Hayward. Unbelievable fishing. Okay. I mean, parts of Wisconsin have some incredible lakes if you're into fishing and wildlife. Hayward was a big place we used to go to. Was a guy I used to date. We used to go up there and do some weekend, long weekend
Yeah.
fishing up there. Hayward, Wisconsin, famous place.
Kathy says that they're around western North Carolina in the Great Smoky Mountains.
That's interesting. I have never been out there in the Great Smokies. I've never been out there in that mountain range. I've been in South Carolina. I definitely have been there, but not North Carolina.
I'll be Googling this later. If I remember it, I'll be Googling it later.
Okay.
The Great Smoky Mountains. Yep, every day is a school day.
Yeah.
Jess says to ask Lex if you've ever saw a hodag, Hodag.
A hodag?
Now, you see, I'm having to Google it now.
Okay, hodag. What is a hodag?
So that'll hodag. Should I Google it, Jess, or do you want the privilege of telling us? Am I taking away your big
Ho-
reveal?
hodag, is that a wild pig or something? What is a hodag? I don't know what that is. I've never heard that word before.
Okay, it's not a real thing. Jess, are you taking a piss? Right. So either Jess is at the wind up, or we're,
I don't think that's a type of fish
so
that I'm aware of.
on Google, it says a hodag is a mythical horned woodland creature from America folklore.
A
Oh,
horned mythical creature. Interesting.
wait, no,
Well,
she's won the
the
line,
horned
so she's
creatures,
coming up to tell us.
the horn, okay, the horned creatures that I see here are the male elk, okay, or the male deer. We have we have boy deers. We have deers and elks that are boys that have the little antlers, the little horny
Yeah,
horns.
Lex, JP says that she visited Wisconsin and she loved it, and her friends had a cottage at Oshkosh. She was only young when she went there, but it was fab. So I've seen a few people mention Wisconsin. So this mythical horned woodland creature is associated with Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Hi, Jess.
Hey, so the hodag is actually most associated with Hayward, and they have like statues, and they have the hodag festival, and it is mythical.
Really?
Yeah, I was just being funny.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
No,
Yeah,
well, I didn't know it,
we've got a lot of
but
mythical things in Wisconsin, I guess.
yeah. So it's celebrated then. Yeah, you said there's a festival.
Yep.
Yeah, so I said Rhinelander. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah.
Yeah, Rhinelander, and then in Hayward, and people actually try to, like those mythical creature shows on TV, like they've tried to
Yeah,
fake hodags as being real with taxidermy.
right. A bit like the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, a little bit
Yeah.
like that.
And haggis. Haggis hunting.
I actually saw through my
Yeah.
Facebook feed, like I didn't realize that people thought haggis were like the furry mythical animals either. I just thought it was food until
Yeah,
I
and it's not
saw.
even a kind of meat, it's oats and bits and bobs.
Well, isn't haggis sausage? It's like sausage, right?
No,
Oh,
you, your traditional haggis is actually it's within a sheep's stomach lining.
Yeah, I went to Scotland. I was where you are for a minute for the Falkirk wheel and the kelpies and
Oh
all that, but I never tried haggis. I should have.
no, well, just so I don't get it right, it's here it says haggis is a traditional Scottish savoury pudding made from no dessert. Savoury pudding made from sheep's offal, specifically the liver, lungs, and heart, and then it's minced with oatmeal, onions, suet,
Hmm,
spices, and stock.
hmm.
So it's really bitty, and it's usually like encased with within like a sheep's stomach lining. You can get
Interesting.
obviously vegetarian haggis, but that's defeating the purpose. It describing it.
Lex, what state are you in?
I'm out in Arizona.
Oh, okay. I had an aunt that lived in Surprise, and my cousins live in Peoria.
Can I go
But
and pour myself another wee drink, seeing as you ladies are having a nice wee chat? Because I'm empty. Is that okay?
that's okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Refill it.
Take
Thank
a little
you.
breather. But I've never been to Arizona, so I
Yeah.
think I need to visit.
Yeah, Surprise in Peoria.
Yeah, they moved from
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
that's down in the Phoenix area.
I don't know if I could handle
I
it.
don't live
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't live down there. I mean, my family is down there. My dad had a compound down there when he was alive, on a golf course. And from when my kids were little, I mean, the whole place has just exploded population wise. And I didn't grow up like in a place like that. I mean, we were out in the country outside of Chicago. So anyway, so I found this place and I came up here because it's beautiful. It's unlike any other part of Arizona, and it's still close to Phoenix, when you need to go down and use the airport and so forth.
Yeah, yeah, that's. I remember you saying you lived in Barrington. So I used to live on the state line, and like the place where like the gangsters would come from Chicago, and they would do their stuff on the state line and come into Wisconsin.
Yeah, what's the name of that town? It's up there by Lake Geneva, kind of?
That was part of it, and then so I grew up in South Beloit and like Rockton, Roscoe, and that's another area they used to come through too. But yeah, Lake Geneva is a big part of it. And that's about
Yeah,
that was about 40 minutes from where I grew up. But
got it. So you were by Beloit?
yeah, and then and then we would take the train into Chicago sometimes from like Harvard, and then like Barrington obviously was a
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah,
But yeah,
right.
it was fun.
My mother, this is a funny story, but when I was a baby, um, and my mother didn't breastfeed any of us. She was doing the bottle thing, and I was colicky. Well, no wonder from that crap, the formula. So they had to go out to a farm in Harvard to get goat's milk
Yeah.
for me.
Well,
And the goat's milk worked, right?
mhm.
And my mother didn't tell me that story till later in my life. And at that point, I had like an obsession with goat's cheese. Well, come to find out, that's the milk that I was drinking as a baby from some dairy farm out in Harvard.
And it's funny you say that too. So my family, when they came over from Germany, like my dad was first generation here. They settled in like Harvard and Sharon, Capron area, and there was all dairy farms, and that's what they did too. So, and yeah, that happened.
Yeah, a lot of Germans. You know
Yep,
what I mean? A lot of Germans. A lot of Germans.
yep.
Well, certainly in Wisconsin,
And Harvard always had on their
Um,
milk days. They had the milk day parade. Because
yeah, I used to take my kids out there to a berry farm to pick strawberries, and we also got our Christmas trees out in Harvard.
yeah.
So we used to motor over to Harvard and do berry picking or get from the Christmas tree farm out there. To do all those activities for my little whippersnappers.
Well, then like our family lived there, so my grandfather's brothers and all them. So I was there a lot as well. But Chicago used to be a lot of fun. I don't know if I go a lot now though. The museums and everything were awesome. But
Yeah, it's not the same. I can tell you that Barrington Hills, not the same. It was idyllic when I was a little girl.
I bet because it
And
really was a neat area.
it was a great place for my career because they had the train line that went into, well, we say town, into
Oh, the
Chicago.
L.
So I could take the train from Barrington into Chicago. It took about 45 minutes, and that's what I did for years. I mean, I was commuting in, I worked for law firms, and then I went in house with corporations. So that worked out. That worked out. And a lot of people that live in Barrington, the dads or moms, if they're career professionals, it's great, taking the train as opposed to the drive. The train line there is definitely something that, even going back to my grandfather, who was a radiologist, he had his office in the Marshall Fields Annex building.
Oh wow, that's a pretty
He
building.
commuted, yeah, he commuted for years as well. And my dad was on staff at Loyola University. He ran a department there, and he did the same thing. So it's a normal part of life. I mean, you can live 40 miles outside of town in a pretty beautiful place and
Yep.
be able to have a job in the city and sustain, a good income to support your family.
I wish I drive about 40 minutes to work, and I wish I could take a train, but there's no trains in our area because I'm in a rural area, and if you don't have a car, you won't get to work.
Yeah, there's no trains or buses. You can't even get an Uber. I think and I have a gal that is a driver for me, that she lives up here, and she takes me down to the airport. I think if I was at the airport, I could get an Uber to bring me up here. But there's no Ubers. There's none of those services where they,
Hmm.
bring food from like a food place. They don't. That's not
No,
happening
I
here.
relate. I
No.
relate, and then people look at me crazy when I say I can't even get a pizza delivered to my house. They think I'm a freak.
Yeah. Well, we have a good pizzeria here, but you got to go down and get it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got to go down and get it and bring it back. But
Yeah,
I
driving.
mean, we get FedEx and UPS, and so there's no problem with ordering stuff online, which I do a lot of that. Um, and if they don't drop it here at the house, they'll drop it at the post office where I have a PO box. That's how it works up here.
That's neat though. That
But it's not like. Pardon
I said
me?
that's neat. I think I'd rather live like that than have too much going on.
Yeah. Yeah, because my sons come over. Well, both my kids have come over here several times, and they ask you those questions like, "Well, how do you get stuff?" I said, "I order it online, and the FedEx guy. My FedEx guy actually is from suburban Chicago.
Really?
His name is Rob. His name is Robert, and Robert brings it over. It's not like I'm in the wilderness here, for God's sake. I mean, I wouldn't move to a place like that.
No. It's like Arizona gets all the
Yeah.
transplants from other states, it seems like.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's parts of Arizona, like down in Phoenix, Maricopa County, that people from California do the reverse move and come over here because you can buy real estate is cheaper than it is in California, and taxes as well. So a lot of those people have reversed it and come here, okay, and they've brought their politics here with them.
Yeah.
And the people that live here are not standing for that. No, 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 no. So, there's been sort of the, I don't know what you call it, the new age, far left, word salad crew that come in here and try to, change
Yeah.
the political climate of this state, and they will never be successful here. Absolutely not. Although, like cities down south like Tucson have been infiltrated by the Democrats, and the Democrats, like, we have this cuckoo governor. I mean, the Democrats that are in this state are collaborating with the Sinaloa drug cartel. Okay, it's
Mm.
well known here. Okay, so they're effectuating the drug trade with these criminals, and the child trafficking, and all the crimes. And we got another election coming up for another governor. We're hoping to get this woman out because she's a fruitcake, and so that's kind of the lay of the land politically out here from my perspective. I mean, I have no problem with anybody making their own choice, but when you come in from libtard California and you're going to try to effectuate a change in a state like this, it's not going to fly. It's just not going to work.
No, and like here, it's not fair to our state because like Milwaukee and Madison, which are libtards, they make like the political choices for us.
Right.
Hi Wallace, and I'm not sure if that's Aster.
Yep, Asta.
Well, I loved hearing Odette talk about Aster's story as she was a baby,
Yeah.
and the little health issues she had to go through. I just love Odette's walks and what she talks about. She's a very salt of the earth person, and I mean, look, everybody, look how much those dogs adore her.
I know.
So
Yeah, they
I
love
wish I
their
lived
mama.
closer, and me and my two dogs could meet up to walk together because they would love that. My dogs
Yeah,
are kind of social, but
yeah.
I don't think.
It used to be me that was scared to let them mix with other dogs on walks. Just because of COVID times, they weren't socialised because we were all stuck in our own houses. And I don't know if it was being paranoid or overly anxious or whatever, but I think it was me that was the issue. But because I've been taking them on more walks in places where I had no choice but to be approached by other dog walkers, they've been great.
Yeah, I love it.
they absolutely they are not aggressive whatsoever, and they absolutely listen to you. And look at that! Oh my God, they absolutely listen to you, mommy, and they're well behaved,
Hmm.
and they've never been aggressive.
I
No.
just want you to train my dogs to take a shower like yours do, because they don't like
You
to
know,
get in their bathtub at home.
Aster didn't used to be that great in the shower. I, when I had my dog de Bordeaux, who I lost last year, I just used to have to shout, right, Freya, in you come. and she would come and she would sit and I would sort her out. And the same with Luna. Whereas Aster, I used to have to sort of go and chase her and nudge her in with my leg. But these last few times, she's been all for it.
Yeah.
No, yesterday, when I came back from when I was up at the pond, where with the frog, and then Luna got flapped by the big swan. When I came in that day, I let Aster, Luna go in because Aster didn't need to come in, and bloody Aster came in as well, and only had one towel in the bathroom with me.
I think mine don't like to get in the tub because their legs are so long.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't the reason that I went to the expense of getting a walk-in shower, but it was part of my thinking because I got the bath and all that took away, and I just thought, do you know what, a shower will be easier. I'm getting older. At some point, I'm not going to be able to be getting in and out of the bath, and it means I can shower my dogs. So it was definitely a factor, but it wasn't the reason. But yeah, they're quite happy just to sit there now.
You actually made me think about that if we remodel our bathroom, I'm doing that for that reason, for the dogs. And then
it's too much. They're too heavy to lift in and out the bath.
yeah, I got a 93 pounder and a 63 pounder. I can't, no.
What kind of dogs are 90? Oh, 93 pound. I thought you said kilos.
Oh, I'm not sure what that would be. I'm not good at the conversion, but they are the Weimaraners, so they're kind of.
Oh, I love them. Yeah, beautiful
Look,
dogs.
Lex, does your dog like baths?
Say that again.
She's an English yellow Labrador. You better believe she loves water. If she was with Odette on those walks, she would dive right in that water, and she might be going downstream in that river. I mean, yeah, she loves water. She wouldn't hesitate. I mean, Aster and Luna are very well behaved. There's no way Gretel, she would dive right in there. That's how labs are. They love the water.
Yeah.
I get her. She has a kiddie pool. I get one of those round kiddie pools from Amazon, and I fill it up. It's on my front porch, veranda deck thing, and and she go. You know, that's her thing because like today it is very hot here. All of a sudden, it just got. All of a sudden, it's like 80 degrees here, and I said to her, I said, "Oh, we got to get a new pool now because all of a sudden it just we didn't have we it snowed here twice but very little, okay, so it has been a very mild winter and all of a sudden it's March and it's just 80 degrees, boom.
I wish you would think that my sporting dogs would like the water since they're bird dogs, but they don't.
Well, I've always had labs, although when I was growing up we had black labs and German shepherds. That's the kind of dogs my mom and dad liked. And I grew up on a gigantic piece of property. I mean, we were outside all the time. So, but I got into yellow labs. I mean, yellow labs are sort of like the official dog of Barrington. You know, and they're so cute when they're puppies.
Yeah,
So,
they were the Andrex puppies,
I
weren't they?
must. Pardon me?
The Andrex puppies. I don't know if that was an advert in the States, but in the UK, the Andrex puppies were yellow labs.
I don't know if I understood what you said. What kind of Andrex puppies?
Yeah,
What?
it's an advert. It's for toilet paper, but it's cuter than it sounds.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I've heard of that brand of toilet paper. It might be in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, Andrex, Andrex. The Andrex puppies were yellow labs and they were beautiful. And the adverts were very cute.
There's and yellow
Yeah,
labs.
they're really
Yellow
cute.
labs are just so friendly and mild mannered. They're awesome. We had one before we got the Weimaraners.
Yeah, she's a good girl. She had an older sister, Heidi, but Heidi died. I got
Oh,
Gretel for Heidi, and then Heidi died. So after that happened, I never kind of believe in like single children or pets, so they always have a buddy. But after that happened, I just decided, no, no, no. I'm just gonna stick with the one, because I'm getting a little bit older here. So
Yeah, I agree with you though. Like when they have a buddy, but they don't. I mean, if you're home with them all the time, they don't need a buddy because you're their buddy.
yeah, I'm home all the time. I really am. I mean, I go into the village once a week, maybe. That's it.
yeah, I'm home most of the time as well. I mean, I work in the mornings, but I'm home most of the time,
What
unless I'm out with the dog.
what kind what kind of work do you do in the mornings? What do you
Well, I
do?
say mornings. That probably wasn't really a good summary of it. I, before my mum moved in with me, I worked with the NHS as a nursing assistant. I've done that for 8 years, and I stopped working to look after my mum. And then after,
You're a nurse?
yeah,
A
yes,
nurse?
and
Okay.
then after my
See, I mean, actually, if you think about it, Odette, you might be better for Chicky than me.
Just trying to give them away already. No.
Well, Odette's younger than me and she's a nurse,
yeah,
and Chicky's got all these health problems. So.
no anymore left. So I stopped working to look after my mum, and then when my mum passed, I was unwell after my mum passed, and a few months down the line, after like various symptoms, that was when the doctors had said it was fibromyalgia, but
Mm.
they think it was trauma triggered after my mum
Yeah.
passed, and if you actually Google it, it's the thing. If you look into it, so I worked in a unit that was. It was a hard shift when you went to your work. There was a lot of violence. Most of your shifts was hands-on, restraining, stuff like
Oh,
that.
God.
So my upper body
Oh, boy.
seems to have been more affected. So I just thought I'm not going back to that because I'm either going to put my own safety at risk or somebody else's because I've not got the strength in my upper body anymore. Um, so so that I've not worked for nearly 2 years, and I just thought I can't keep doing this. And so I started working with the schools, just with the catering, just a few hours a day, and it means that I'm free to help with my grandkids during all the holidays because you've got all the holidays off. So that's what I'm doing.
Good.
Yeah, it's just it
That's
gets me out, and yeah, it suits me until I change my mind or think otherwise. Because obviously it's a new path that I'm taking, and I'm not fully decided on what I should be doing. But you just can't keep
right.
no working. I have no. That's been nearly 2 years. I mean, how long are you going to keep doing that before you're going to have no savings left?
Well, how old are you now?
53.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking you're better for Chicky than me. I'm telling you right now. He needs to get a passport, and I'll bring him over and introduce him to you.
Yeah, he's going to jump off flight, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's good. You're 53. You're pretty young. Wow. Now, does Scotland get the health care like they do in England? Is it a government
yeah, NHS.
thing that you have?
Yeah, NHS. That's right. 3 years.
That's good. Is that pretty good up there?
Well, reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another can of worms.
And
Eh? I'm
then,
sure we could all sit and complain about the NHS for hours and days and weeks. Um, It's not the same as it used to be. The NHS is pretty much on
Uh-huh.
its knees a lot of the time. Uh, it's understaffed. There's you could I don't know what it's like in other areas, but certainly here you could go up to A&E at any time, and there's patients on trolleys and corridors. I mean, my dad was in hospital last month, and it was the same for him. I mean, it just is. They're overwhelmed. There's not enough nurses, but it is free.
Now in Scotland, do they have pension system like after you work, many years, then at a
You
certain
will get a
age
state pension. You get a state
you do?
pension. And NHS has a good pension, and well, obviously, I'm no NHS anymore because I actually just sent in an official resignation um, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. But I just finished. I'm saying the wrong word there. I've no actually done any shifts for a couple of years, but I was staff bank, so it was like a bit like being self-employed. So you didn't get sick pay or that when you're staff bank. Um, so that was why that was part of my reasoning for choosing to go and do the school thing, because it's council run, so that's got a good pension scheme as well, even although
Oh,
it's not
good.
that many. Yeah, even although it's not that many hours. So
So at what age do they start giving you pension money? What age do you have to be?
I think it's 65. I can't say it's
Okay.
something that I've paid a lot of attention to. Maybe somebody else would be able to help me. What's pension age in the UK?
Pardon me?
I was just hoping somebody in chat would maybe be more knowledgeable than me. I was asking what's the pension age in the UK, but I think it's 65 for women.
Well, here in
Um,
the United States, they put aside a certain amount of what you earn into a fund, okay? And
uh,
then you're eligible to collect that when you're 62 years old, and it's called Social Security, okay? But
right.
it's not government, it's not taxpayer funded. It's actually the amount that the worker, earns, and then they take part of that, a little bit out of each paycheck, and that's vested or put into this fund for when they turn 62. So it's not, the burden is not on the taxpayers, the American taxpayers. It is generated by the actual worker. Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of the ladies, well, actually more than a couple. The ladies that have been answering in chat, it's 67 for women, retirement age for your pension, because they keep putting it up all the time. The way it's going, they're going to be wanting people to work until they're dropped in and they're ready for going into an old folks home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know it's no particularly overcrowded in here, and I don't know who it's relevant to, but Candy Boys just went live. Um, I probably shouldn't be announcing that, but it's a free world, so if that's what somebody would rather do, if you're all happy to stay here, then I'm happy to be here.
I listened to part of his thing earlier today, and he was mad and complaining. I don't know. I think about that Isabella lady. Like, sometimes I have no idea what the disputes are all about.
Yeah, they just made up a number of days ago. I'm not sure how many days ago, but I mean, everybody lives their life a different way, and nobody's can tell anybody else what to do. But I'm no one for bearing grudges, but I wouldn't be giving anybody the opportunity to make a mug of me twice.
Yeah. Well, I don't know
If they do
what
it
went
once, you
down.
just think, right, that person's like you can. You can let somebody off with treating you badly once if you want to, but just because you've let them off with it doesn't mean that you need to be in there and being friends with them. You can just move on and leave them in the rear mirror. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what their dispute was, but she was on Michelle Meltdown last night, and her thing there was that Denise Burnside has attacked her repeatedly, and Burnside was in the chat and being mouthy with Isabella. And Isabella came up and told her part of the story about Denise, and that's
Yeah.
really what was discussed. And I have blocked Burnside, but I think I'm going to unblock her because, and Michelle gave us permission. If Burnside comes into her chat and she starts beating up on other people, whether it's a panel member or anybody else in the chat, she's going to be timed out. And Patrick knows that. Patrick and Sparkles. I think Baby Grandma was in there last night, but she comes into Michelle's chat to start shit with other people where she's already abused the woman on her own channel. You know what I mean? So
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I like a bit of gossip and I like a bit of drama. Drama is the reason anybody watches anything, whether it's your soaps on the TV or whether it's your celebrity news or it's just lower level YouTube. Drama is what attracts people. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I just can't imagine giving so much energy to anybody that I didn't like. I mean, that must be exhausting.
Well, she did. The carpetbagger definitely doesn't like me, and she started to say that I was committing defamation when she's a total moron and she knows nothing. And that's why we did the other live, and I explained to everybody, no, this is what has actually occurred here. I am not committing defamation. And she you know she doesn't like me, and I'm not going to tolerate her. I mean, I told Michelle last night, there's 4 women, and if she ever brings any of those 4 women up on her panel, I'm leaving. There's 4 women that I will not tolerate.
Yeah, and you're quite right. I mean, why should anybody have to be in anybody's company they don't want to be in?
Well, I'm tired of their games and it's just, it's ridiculous, okay?
It's confusing for the viewers. It's confusing for subs. If you want to be loyal to somebody and then you see them showing, like, I don't know, I'm trying to be diplomatic. If you
Yeah,
see them being really fickle with their friendships and stuff, it opens up a whole can of worms to other stuff that you want to question as well.
yeah. I don't make knee-jerk reactions. I observe people for a long period of time until I come to my decision. And
Yeah, I'm not a hothead either. I
you
can
know,
sit in things for ages.
Lex, can you let Nicola know what a carpetbagger is? Can you give her the definition? She's wondering.
Yeah, she's asking what a carpetbagger is. Do
I
you know
didn't
what? I
know
don't know
until
either. I don't know why I've never asked, as nosy as I
I didn't
am.
know until I heard Lex tell us on Michelle's channel. I've heard the word, but just never realized what it truly was.
well, she can Google it, but back in the era of the Civil War, there were huckster salesmen that would come down the Mississippi River from up north down to the southern United States. And, they were hucksters, is another word for it. And typically from the north, right? They'd come down on the Mississippi River down to the south and try to sell people stuff that was all bogus. And but she's a southerner, and I call her a carpetbagger. And she actually said I forget whose show. She said, "Yeah, I am a carpetbagger." Yeah, she is. She admits it. So there you go. But she came after me a while ago, and all I asked her was a direct question, and it backed her into a corner. And she doesn't like to be backed into corners, and I was not hostile or malicious. I was trying to actually figure out a situation. Excuse me. And ever since that time, she's had an axe to grind with me. So there you have it.
I can't. Okay, and I'm not sure. I guess I'm just curious. Do you think she's smart like a fox, or really as dumb as she pretends?
Um, I think she's smart like a fox in a very devious way, and
Yeah.
based on things she's talked about from her childhood and her upbringing, I think she's been like this her whole life. Okay, I think she was like this as a child, and I think that she's an adult now, and it's like Fiona. I mean, was Fiona always lying her entire life? Probably as a child, you know? I mean, you don't all of a sudden become an adult and bingo, you start behaving this way. It's a behavioral pattern.
Yeah, it's how their brains work, I think, if it goes on
Yeah,
that long.
yeah. And they get irritated, when we're over there having a fun chat. We're not even talking about them. We're talking about other stuff. And they just descend on Michelle's channel. They want to come in there and they want to disrupt the vibe and they want to make it about them and they want to be mean to other people. And yeah, I mean, it's just mean girl behavior. That's what it appears to me, in my opinion. I don't know.
I can't keep up either, but I try just because.
Look at this wee streamline of. So we've got Asta
Oh, that is adorable.
and
Look at
Luna
those faces.
and
Oh, great. Now
Lola's
mine had to
away.
give.
Do you see
Aw,
Lola?
Look at that.
that is so
So
cute.
cute. It is. They just adore her. You know what I mean? They adore Odette.
Do you know, I
So
don't know
yeah,
if it's a Guinness Book of Records thing or not, and it is a bit random, but it's going to be the second mammary related story that I've said today. Luna has 15 teats.
Oh, that's a lot of
wow.
teats.
Well, most dogs only have 7 average, some 6, some 8. Luna has 15.
Now I'm gonna end up counting my girl dog's teats. Thanks, Odette. when I,
Well, has she been fixed or could she have babies?
Well, she had one litter, and that's how I got asked her.
Oh,
But she's been fixed now.
well, it sounds like her body was equipped to have at least 15 puppies. That's wild.
Well, she had 10, so
Oh my God.
oh
yes,
wow,
I know.
was she a
They
good
were,
Wow.
mama?
and every one of them was absolutely stunning. So yeah,
I
apart
bet.
from one litter, she's neutered now. And I got asked her neutered. I wouldn't just be asked. There's kidneys or that. I would never have took the chance in case there was too much for her body.
Yeah.
Was she a helicopter mom, or like a real, really attentive, or
Oh,
when
she
she
was
had her puppies?
fantastic. Yeah, no, she was brilliant.
It's
So how much does each puppy sell for from that breed? What do they go for?
Do you know, it's a tricky breed. Normally, breeds are like a set price, depending on how good their pedigree is and stuff. If they've got a lot of champions and that could maybe affect the price. But with these dogs, the colour seems to affect the price. So Aster and there was a male pup were both lilac tricolours like Aster. and those are the most expensive out of the lot. Like the litter was all different prices. My throat's going. So they were the most expensive. And then I had 2 chocolate tricolours, which in the price range were next. And then I had 2 lilac fawns, which was next. And then you've got like your red and whites, which would be Luna's colour. But all in all, they ranged from 2,000 to 3,000, depending on the colour. But that was like Aster's 5. So that was the price 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I hope you can't hear that sound. They're using a pressure washer outside my house. You can hear it all get down.
Hello, Patrick, or Banana Man as I call him. Do you know, there's a thing, sorry, Patrick, for saying this just as you got here, but I made a comment, I think it was yesterday, but I'd prior already said this to Pat. But this was a story which is really not a story. So they were talking about fruits and stuff a few days ago. I think it was over in Michelle's, and it was to do with Eric being called Pudding and blah, blah, blah. So there was a whole conversation about that going on. And I had says to Patrick, I says, well, you've saw my food entry now, so you can be my banana man because you know what it means. and I said it, and that was it, done. So I had mentioned, yeah, Patrick's my banana man yesterday, and somebody else repeated my comment because Candor can't see me in any chats, and I can't see him. And Candor had said, oh, now there's a thing, because Odette put a banana pudding in for her entry in the cooking last week. Does that mean that she modelled it on Patrick? And I was trying to say in the chat, oh no, you've got it wrong. That was just a silly name we made because of the pudding. The pudding didn't become because of me calling him that. But he couldn't see me trying to explain to him that that wasn't the reason that I called him Banana Man.
It looks like Patrick said the lilac dogs are more expensive. So the lilac color of your breed is more expensive.
Hello, Minji. Fiona Cook, Trusty Mouldy Minji. I mean, there is a name. She came into my chat once when I was doing a live, and I think I was in possibly Calendar Park, but I can't remember what one. And usually when I see her in a chat, I'll call her Minji. And she came, oh no, I think it was at Dollar Park. And she came into the chat, and I was like, hi, Fiona Cool. I says, I can't call you your usual name because I've got people round about me.
Patrick modeled for your banana, he says.
All right, okay then, you did model. That's it. That's that story quashed.
Did you win that contest? You should have. That was great. What a
Did
masterpiece.
hell, I only got about 3 votes. It was ridiculous. But
It
No, I'm
reminded me of
sorry.
Candor
I would
said
have
to go
voted. I would have voted for you. I missed that. I would have voted for that. That was
yes,
great.
everybody should have, and I'm just being biased because it was mine.
It reminded me of a naughty banana split.
Yeah, well, I said it was called a banana long cock, but
Oh, that, that makes more sense.
yeah, well, Lex, are you familiar with Wimpy?
Wimpy?
Yeah, the burger place.
From Popeyes?
No,
Yeah,
no.
there used to be
Wimpy.
a franchise called Wimpy, and in their desserts, they used to do a banana longboat,
Okay.
and that was why I says banana longboat.
Ah.
So there was
There
a
used
reason for it.
there used to be a eatery in Chicago called Wimpy Burgers. Okay. So people from the Midwest may know about that. It was called Wimpy Burgers. That's all I can tell you about Wimpy.
Yeah, There used to be another dessert called a Knickerbocker Glory, and that was in like a big tall glass. I used to get the banana longboat. Patrick, I've got a sore throat. Have you got any suggestions?
I have no idea if Michelle's doing a live. I never know what's going on, you know.
There's
Sometimes
Nicola.
she'll post a little thing ahead of time, but sometimes she just goes in there, you know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. See, Nicola remembers the banana longboat. Thank you, Nicola.
When you guys make posts like in your community, sometimes I don't see them until like a week later. I don't know
Well, I'm
what if there's
actually
like
just
a setting
starting
I
to
have it
work.
on.
I'm actually just starting to work out the whole YouTube thing. So I've divided up, because when you go into lives, it's sort of a mixed, like there's the lives like this, like the once a week, which I've took it upon myself to call sub chat, because as far as I'm concerned, it's about you guys making friends and getting a chance to talk to each other, and it doesn't bother me if I'm just sitting here and letting you talk. I mean, it's not about me, it's about you guys. So there's these chats in between, like the lives that I do with the dogs. So if you go into playlists, I've split them up. So one of the playlists is just called sub chats, and the other one's called Aster and Luna Walks. So I've started doing that. I don't know if it's a good thing to do or if it's going to muck things up, but I've done it anyway. Michelle's on Candor's case saying, yeah, I think most people have sort of headed over there. Doesn't look like there's many as left in here. Green tea with honey, Patrick says. So a wee vodka
So
and Diet Cola will only help it then. It was worth a try.
Well, I'm
Yes,
sorry I missed the contest. I would have voted for you. We have a
thank
thing here
you.
in the United States called a banana split. That's a dessert thing. Have you seen that? A banana split?
Yeah, that's in like a sort of a big tall glass as well, isn't it?
like a
Well,
flat, long, flat glass thing, right? Like a boat.
yeah, it's more like a flat. Yeah, you're right. That's what it is. It's not in a tall glass. It sits on a
A
like
flat
a
plate.
rectangular, you
Like a
know,
canoe, but more like a canoe,
Yeah.
I think.
a canoe. Yes.
That sounds like visually that sounds like the banana longboat, so it's probably been Wimpy's version of, but they've had to give it another name.
Yeah, it's probably the same thing, but how we call French, you guys call chip or whatever,
Yeah,
French
thank
fries
you,
and
Anne.
chips. I didn't want to say you guys call these that because there's no right or wrong. We just call them different things.
That's right, aye. Yes,
It's
I
got a
agree
lot of
with
it's got a lot of whipped cream on it. I know that.
Are we still talking about this banana? Try ginger and lemon and hot water. I think I've just been talking too much today because I've had the boys all day. Like I've never shut up, and then obviously, and my dad's trying to shout so he can hear me, and then doing this. So I'm hoping that when I get up in the morning, it's eased off a bit. Hello, Dave.
Kay says she had Wendy's for the first time last month, earlier that month.
Wendy, is that place where you go in and get insulted? No.
No, it's a fast food restaurant. And the logo, the girl has red pigtails, and they're like burgers, just fast food.
Right. Wait, what's the one that you go and you get insulted by the staff? They're meant to be cheeky.
Oh, Ed DeBevrix? It was in Chicago.
I don't
Oh,
know.
oh,
I thought that was
I know
called.
which Harry's Last Resort or something like that. I think is what you're talking about. Let
Yeah, I
me
don't know
Google
why I
that.
thought that.
And
I
they
thought
put like
that
a hat on your head, and the waitress will, if there's
was.
no kids with you, she'll write something really naughty.
I can't remember. I just know that I've seen it coming up on like TikTok type of thing.
I gotta Google that now.
Wasn't Ed DeVevix more like a 1950s diner? That's what I recall. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it was. And then they would just get kind of smart mouthed with you on purpose. Like if you went in there, you knew the waitresses and waiters or servers weren't going to be overly nice. They were just kind of going to be rudish to you.
You
But I
know,
know what hotel. Oops, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say one of the infamous great places in Chicago, and they have come down to Arizona, is Portillo's. Oh my God.
They're all over now. We have them in Wisconsin now.
Yeah, a father of these guys I played polo with, he's the one that actually funded Frank Portillo to start the first store. Isn't that a story? Yeah.
Oh, like the little hot dog stand when they had it.
Yeah. I mean, the owner's name was Frank Portillo, and my friend's dad, Mr. Wigdahl, he funded Frank the Dough to get him going on that business. Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're thinking of? I was close. It's Dick's for Last Resort. It's not Harry. The restaurant is
All
Dick's
right.
Last Resort.
Well, I just googled, and the one I was talking about, if you actually want to put it in a YouTube or TikTok, you'll get a lot of users videos that they've put up. They've maybe took a family member there with, and it's usually an older family member who isn't aware of how this particular chain works. So it's called Karen's Diner, and you'll be able to Google it. And it's a restaurant chain famous for intentionally rude, insulting service, where staff throw menus, they mock customers, and they force patrons into embarrassing games. It's designed for a roast experience. Guests are greeted with attitude and given insulting hats, though it serves traditional burgers and drinks. But
Oh, so
they're proper cheeky.
that one
Like,
I've not heard of, but that sounds
yeah,
fun.
yeah, really bad. Oh, actually, just scroll down a bit, and after what you said, it says alternative options for a similar concept. There's Dick's Last Resort. Is
Yeah.
that the one you were talking about?
Yep. And then the first one I thought you were talking about was Ed the Bevericks, like the Lex asked if it was the 50s diner, and that was like the original concept, I think, but they closed.
Yeah. Well, it's a really big franchise, so it's Karen's Diners. But there's loads of funny videos because they are so rude. And you sometimes get people taking like maybe an elderly aunt or their gran or whatever, and they're absolutely shocked, and then they get into a bit like back and forward way. How dare you speak to me like that? And the rest of the family are just bent over laughing because they obviously know it's deliberate.
I'll have to look for that when I'm sitting around later.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you,
Mar-
Maria. Thank you, everybody. I'm just saying thank you, everybody. My throat's going. Been a long while since I've lost my voice. Like, I think it's only ever happened once or twice.
Maria, um, the way I met them was in the early 1970s. We used to go to their shows, and they played in Chicago, and somebody told us the hotel they were staying in out by O'Hare Airport. So we went over there, and Phil Lesh, who was the bass player, I went over there with a bunch of, we were in high school at that time, a bunch of us, and he invited us up to his room, and he had all these really freaky women in there with him, and he and I went out on the balcony, and he was asking me really kooky questions, and then I said to him, I said, listen, you and I have a friend in common, a lady by the name of Amy Moore. And Amy Moore is a girl that also went to school in Switzerland. And the minute I mentioned her name, he dropped the act. And I had taken a lot of photographs of them. And I sent the photographs out to their office after we met him. And then he he sent me a bunch of promotional stuff. He called and had a conversation on the phone with my mom. And my mother loved to talk to people. And anyway, I took some very famous photographs at their gig in Des Moines, Iowa in June of 1974. And later, I moved out to Marin County to Mill Valley. And he came over to see me, and they invited me to take more photographs for them. And then I met more of them. And I was a nanny for Keith and Donna Gottschalk for their son Zion. And come to find out then later, they liked my work. They put my photographs on several of their albums, and in the movie made about them from Martin Scorsese. So basically, I met them when I was a young girl, and they treated me with a lot of respect, and they were very good to me, and they were personal friends of mine, and I would never write a book about them because a lot of the people on their crew have written books, and I would never, ever in a million years do that because I know a lot of personal, confidential stuff, and I don't publicly disclose to anybody the things that I experienced and knew about the inner workings and all the kooky stuff that went down. So I hope that answers your question. They were great to me. My parents were fine with the whole thing. I was out there for a few years, and then I moved back to Barrington, and it is one of the most special experiences I've ever had in my entire life. I mean, there was nothing like that scene, nothing like it in the United States musically, and they were tremendously talented people. And the people that followed them around are colorful, and they trusted me with their children, and so I hope that answers the question.
Wait, the life, Lex, eh?
Did they have a crazy lifestyle? You better believe they had a crazy lifestyle. Um, but that's a part of the rock and roll scene, and I'm from the Midwest, and I they had a lot of very eccentric people surrounding them, a lot of people that were glomming on. I mean, kind of lunatic loose girls. I mean, all this, and my ex-husband. Well, I'm not. I better not tell this part because then it reveals what my last name is. So I've scratched that. I'm not going to tell that part of the story. So anyway, that's how I knew them. Donna Jean Godchaux died a few months ago, and Bob Weir just died. Phil died. I mean, the only two left are Billy Kreutzmann and Mickey Hart, the drummers. They're the only two left. So yeah, it was a special, special thing back in that day. It was not difficult to meet them. It was a very intimate kind of a situation. They loved their fans. They were very open to their people. And it was a big adventure, and they loved adventure, and so did we. I mean, everyone in my family is into the Grateful Dead, and I've seen them all over the place. Been all over the place, and we really had a good time. It was good times.
When are you writing your life story, Lex?
I'm not going to.
Just for me, I'll not let anybody else read it.
It's I'm sure there's other people that have much more interesting life stories than I do. I'm not.
Maybe I, maybe no. But we can read about more than one.
All I know is that I know my son has told all those people that he deals with, like he has told them all about this. And when I go out there and I'm on set with him, those people treat me like I'm some sort of a goddess. I mean, one guy said, he said to my son, he goes, "Well, you do realize your mom is part of history." Well, God, I never looked at it like that. Um, but I didn't realize that my son like told all those Hollywood people who the hell I was, and I just never. Like I said, a lot of people have written books that were associated with them, and I would just never do that because some very bad business stuff went down with them, and several very very evil people crossed them, and I just. Besides doing photography for them and them honoring me by putting my work, with their albums and in that movie, you know, um, I was, very salt of the earth with taking care of their children because, they were rock and roll musicians. They were having a good time. I mean, you had to have somebody there that had their head on their shoulders. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah,
kind of my story.
very interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to pick. I suppose I could pick your brains every week, and it would be years before you would have to repeat the same story twice.
Well, when you have an interesting life, it's fun. I mean, I'm not sad about anything, or I don't, I'm not getting sentimental about it. I mean, for me to be welcomed into that particular circle of people was an honor. Okay, it was an honor for me, and you know, there are other women that entered into that scene that really got hooked on cocaine and ended up having severe drug problems. And, a lot of these women, and not just US women, there were two Iranian princesses, Persian princesses that hung out with them. A lot of people, really had pretty bad drug problems, and I did not. Okay. So, that's all I can say. I mean, the woman that I worked for, her name was Donna Jean Godshaw, and she was a backup singer for Elvis Presley. She was from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And really, I think, she thought it was cool she was with the dead, but really her thing was showing me those pictures of her with Elvis. I think that was a highlight for her,
Yeah,
being a backup singer for Elvis Presley when she was
yeah,
a young gal out of the Muscle Shoals, Alabama, is got a music scene, and I don't know how she met him, but she recorded tracks with Elvis. So, and she was a
yeah.
Christian woman. I mean, she was Christian. People didn't understand that. She absolutely was a Christian. Okay, like hardcore. She's a Southern lady, and she believed in God. So I really admired her and her husband and her son, of course, who's still with us. He has his own band, and they're very, very special people to me. Really special people.
Sounds like a very, very interesting life. You'll never be short of things to ponder when you're trying to nod off to sleep, that's for sure.
Yeah, Jess, you're right. They were riding that train. In fact, last time I was in LA, my son always throws, dinner parties, and really cute couple. My granddaughter's best friend and her parents came, and the guy's a musician. So, and the wife is beautiful. She looks like a model. And somehow we got onto it, and I told him about it. And he said to me, "Oh my God, what was that like?" And I just said, "They were riding that train, buddy. They were riding that train." Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, I suppose I actually can't be bothered moving, but I really need to vacate it up the stairs so that I can hear if any of these boys decides to wake up during the night.
Okay, thank you for having me on, Odette. I love you.
Thank you for coming up.
Boots are
And
coming soon. I'll email you when I need the address, and it's going to be just after the 1st of April. Okay?
yeah, there's absolutely no rush. It's entirely up to yourself.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
and
Thanks for having me on, everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
yes, and you, I'm sure it'll come across you somewhere in a chat once I get myself settled upstairs. It's just once I go upstairs, I can't speak.
Yeah, yeah, I got it. Okay, I'm out. Thank you, Odette. Bye bye.
Thanks very much. Bye bye. Bye, guys. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming. See you next time. Thanks, Lex, so much. And Jess for coming up. Bye bye.